So here we are in Shinjuku, Nichome. This is one of the neighborhoods not that far away from Golden Gai. As you can see from that Torii gate, it's also very famous for the LGBT community, and this is going to be a very interesting walk here. I'm joined by Felicity and Tiffany.
Hello.
Who's going to take me through here, and we're going to talk about this area of Shinjuku, which I think just a couple of minutes from Golden Gai and from Kabukicho, a really vibrant town. It's actually different at night, isn't it?
Totally different. Totally different. You will not see LGBT people during this time. Maybe just me, but then like at night is completely different.
Right, and I wanted to do this because there's a lot of change that's happening because of tourism, because of so many people coming from abroad. And I've been here since the mid-1990s, same as Tiffany. Maybe Tiffany's been here for longer than I have. And we're going to talk a little bit about how things have been changing here. So buckle in, we're going to take a trip around Shinjuku in this neighborhood and check it out. So obviously this neighborhood is quite famous for the LGBT community. Why, I mean, tell me a little bit about Nichome. Why here?
Why here? That's a good question. I live in Japan for 28 years, but when you think about like the LGBT community, the bars everywhere is here. Like the bars, I used to work in a cabaret as a cabaret performer, and it's like right next by this area as well. So most of the people that works here are in the evening are part of the community, and they also have like the video shops where you can buy like for the adult stuffs.
Right.
Yeah, like right in the corners here and there. This bar that you just showed earlier, like where there is the Torii, like a gate of rainbow, is a famous spot because it's in the middle of the center of Nichome, where everyone comes in the evening because it's like it has a kind of an outdoor vibe. People come here and have a drink, and then when it comes like really late night, like just like a bunch of people like gather and like just mingle and they hang out.
It's kind of neat to have a place like this. Now, we came here in the mid-1990s. We can walk around a little bit.
Sure.
Where do you think is a good place to go next?
Let's go.
We're taking a bit of a tour here.
Yeah, Shinjuku Nichome is not that big. It's a very small, everything is all together. But when you see like those right there, like when you see like those tiny little banners, those are all bars. And it's like, I think
they go up more than one
yes,
floor, right?
Yes, exactly. There's like hundreds of them here.
So the nightlife here is a lot more people than right now. It's funny how this isn't just in Nichome, this is all over Shinjuku. The neighborhoods change as the sun goes down.
Exactly. And of course it's night and people here are more, but I would say like a lot of the bars here, because it's tiny and small,
right,
they prioritize if you're part of the community, if they know, especially if they know you. They call it ichigensang. If you're not they're regulars, they will not accept you.
Interesting. So if you're a tourist that's coming here, I mean, how would you, if you're a tourist coming here and you really want to go to some of these bars and they said no to you?
Yes.
My first reaction would be like, this is some sort of discrimination perhaps,
right,
or like, what's wrong? Maybe they can't speak any English, so it makes it kind of difficult. Hey, you know what? I'm LGBT too, why can't I come in here?
Right.
There might be some of that, right? So,
yeah, that too, and also like what you said about Golden Gai. Golden Gai is also at small bars right next to each other, right? And they prioritize their own clients because they're regulars and they go there. If you put more people, then there's no more space for the regulars. So they prioritize their clients who come regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, and that sometimes is one of the biggest misconceptions that tourists have that come here that think, oh, they're discriminating.
Exactly.
Actually,
it's not, yeah.
Their priority is into their regular customers.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. So yeah, you see all that, all bars, different big gay bars, small gay bars. Which I've never been actually. I've been living here 20 years. I've never even been to most of these bars.
Well, there's so many of them that would take years to go to all of them.
Right.
I've walked down here before, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, and I'm gonna share with everybody a story that this is maybe where we kind of crossed paths. Possibly maybe we did actually. Oh, look at this alley.
Right. It's also at night. It's like they have like this little lights light up, so it's pretty neat.
Like a festival feeling to it, right?
Yeah.
So wait, on the map here, let me show you exactly where we are. This is Shinjuku Nichome. is Shinjuku-ku is the actual city. Tokyo would be the state. Shinjuku is the city, and then within there are these towns. Nichome, the second town, is right here. It's a block, right out of Shinjuku-gyoen. And if you look in here, a lot of them are low buildings, kind of older buildings. And now we're walking amongst the alleys in this block, and we're starting to see what is down here, street level, street view. It's pretty vibrant. I'm kind of digging this area. Maybe, I mean, the sun is going down. Maybe we'll see something in a couple of hours, but right now it is so quiet. This is the area where we are right now, and I'll put a link in the description where if you want to take a look at where Nichome is. It's it's one of, how many chomes are there in Shinjuku? I know that there's at least 7, 8?
Yeah, probably 7 maybe, yeah.
Right, so within Shinjuku Ward, there's like several towns. So it gives you an idea how just the geography of Japan, of Tokyo, is broken down into here. So I want to talk a little bit about your own story, but then I want to share with you my own. And I want to also introduce you to Felicity, who made a documentary. This episode is kind of interesting because we're not just taking a tour of Shinjuku Nichome, which I think is interesting to tourists because a lot of people are staying in hotels near here, but also a look back through history, our own history, and how tourism, all the internationals that are coming here, are changing Japan. Now, Tiffany's made a documentary here. It's called We Exist, right?
Yes.
So I want to share just a clip, and then you could talk a little bit about it. So at the beginning of it, you start off with Japanese who don't even know what LGBT means or just aren't exposed to it, which is normal here in Japan.
Yeah, we realized that the level of awareness towards the LGBT in Japan is so low. And there's stats out there that show that less than 5% of Japanese people have even met someone who is part of the LGBT community. So the beginning of the documentary is just a montage of people saying, I've never met someone, I don't know anything. And unfortunately, that's very much the situation here. And our goal with the documentary is to share stories from the queer community here in Japan, both in the city and the countryside. Because even within those two communities, there's a huge disparity. And people in Tokyo, Japanese people, watch our documentary, and the feedback is, I didn't realize what it was like living in the countryside as a queer Japanese person. So that is very much our goal, is spreading awareness.
We're about I guess 10-minute walk from Shinjuku Station, depending on which exit you take from, to answer your question, Crimsonic here. But you can see here, so you're looking at what is a cabaret bar, and I want to share with you my experience. About 15 years ago, I had a friend who was an executive at a big Japanese company. He would have an expense account, and he would take me out to hostess bars. I'm talking like the high-end places that I could never afford to. And even 15 years ago, Japan was a completely different place. And one night, he goes, John-san, tonight we go to a gay bar. And I'm like, what? All right. So my image was like YMCA dudes, and they're all hitting on one another. And I'm like, you're like the 60-year-old Japanese guy, and we're both straight, and you've got a family. It's like, why would we want to go there? But it turned out not to be the case. It was actually like a cabaret club of transgender dancers that were on stage that put on a really amazing performance. Maybe because we were also drinking and eating and having fun. It was literally like a performance, right? It's on stage, very well choreographed. And at the end of it, I'd never met anybody that was transgender at the time, and very nice person came in and made conversation just like any hostess club, and then asked me, would you like to touch? I guess that's something that a lot of the people that came in, and I was like, all right. And my friend was looking at me very, like, you better do this. And I did, and okay. So that was my first reaction, like, okay, so this is what a gay bar is. It's nothing that I thought it was going to be. And that's why it's more like entertainment, more so than a place where you would go and pick up people. So, Tiffany, as somebody who's transgender, is that
Yes.
Is that something that, like, when you say gay bar, is that what people, Japanese, think of? And what is the perception of?
Yeah, because a lot of, still up until now, even though in 2024, right?
Yeah.
Still the representation of Japanese LGBTQ people here in Japan they're not many. That's the reason why also we did this documentary, to highlight people who have stories to share, and they've been sharing their stories, but they're not highlighted by the mainstream media. So going back to your story about like going to this kind of place, I used to work that kind of place.
I'm wondering if it was the same.
Maybe
I'm
it's the
kind of
same
wondering if it was
place.
the same place. This is like 15, 16 years ago.
Exactly. So that's actually, and during that time when I was still working in as a cabaret performer, it was underground. No one knows our place unless it was someone that knows us or someone knows who've been there can only come. So basically, not everyone knows about the place.
It was
hidden.
really underground. Like he had a
Yeah.
bottle of whiskey with his name on it.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe
like
the
it
same
was like
place.
around the neck of the bottle of the whiskey was, his name there.
Yes, yeah.
And he's now passed. Unfortunately, this very nice guy. He's gone. He had died of cancer about 2 years ago. But he introduced me to a lot of this stuff. But like, it's not something that tourists would be able to go into. But nowadays, tourism has sort of changed it because Japan's population is decreasing, and it opens up more opportunities, and it's also changed maybe this neighborhood. I wonder,
Yeah.
what's it like at night here compared to like, I know you said you haven't been here for a while, but compared to like 15, 20 years ago or
Yeah.
25 years ago, I'm sure it was way different, right?
Yeah, it was way different, and also I think going back to what you said, like now is because of so many changes happen, they wanted to let people come in now. They're more welcoming. Back then, they don't even like, for example, the place that I used to work, we don't allow people to take photos or videos,
Right.
and even media. If the media wants to coverage about our show we always say no. We don't want to do it. And now, like when we did the documentary, like I was so surprised that they've been doing a lot of media attention now. They're on the TV. They're I think because of the nightlife is also changing. Not many people are drinking now compared to
Right.
back in the days.
Right.
Like people go home before the last train. So it's not like, because when I used to work, it's like until morning. It's like all night, right? So not a lot of people are like drinking anymore. So I think that definitely changes the aspect of nightlife in Tokyo as well.
I think so. And honestly, I don't go out drinking very much at all. I think it's been about 10 years since I've been out like drinking with bars, and especially in the last 4 years where we're kind of holed up at home. I still am not quite used to going out to bars and clubs, so definitely people drinking a lot less in Japan. Probably a good thing. Probably a good thing.
Healthier.
A lot healthier. But one thing I think is really interesting with your story is that you've quit that industry,
Yeah.
that job, and there's a lot of toxicity with it, right?
Yes, yes.
Can you explain what happened with that there?
Part of that is alcohol too, right? Because
Right.
the more you get to drink alcohol, the more you get to spend the clients, put a bottle. Like what the guy who's taking you to the bar.
Right.
If he always puts like a bottle of whiskey as his name, like put on, of course he's gonna pay a lot of money, and it also kind of pushes us to like, drink more and make him more drink, make the clients more drink. So. What I love about that though, it taught me a lot about how, like the hospitality of Japanese people, how to take care of the clients, how to have that omotenashi. That's how I learned a lot when I was doing the hostessing, and apart from being a performer. And also like the relationships and how to build relationships with Japanese people, because all of our clients are Japanese. So you're rare, like coming to a bar like that,
It felt really weird. But the thing is, the people that were there around me, they weren't gay. It's
Yeah.
a gay bar, but
Yeah.
they weren't gay, and
Yeah.
that was unusual to me. So your clients, the people that would come in and watch, were
all like, yeah, they're all
the same
just,
kind
like,
of people. Like
they want to be entertained, basically. They go there, they watch the show. Some of them, because they're curious about like what transgender people are. So they ask us questions, and probably like what you said, like one probably girl, like you can touch, like her breast implants, because that's normal for us to do. Like,
Right.
like every night, some clients would be
she
like,
was
"Is
very
that
proud,
real or not?"
very proud of it too. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I want to, to go there, but hey,
Oh wait, this is the park. There's this park, Shinjuku Nichome Park. This is known back in the days where all the guys would meet here like late night and they were hook up.
Oh, here.
Yeah, it used to be, but not anymore because it's
Straight
like,
guys? Everybody
No,
is.
no, no, like the gay guy, the gay.
Oh, so this is like
yeah.
a gay hookup bar. Park.
Place.
Okay.
Like they meet up here at night and then they would, But it's a beautiful park now. Before it wasn't like this beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you look in Japan, everything is so clean.
Yeah.
And even in a place that like Shinjuku, where everybody's drinking and drunk all the time. You wake up in the morning and it's whatever happened the night before is completely gone and it's nice and clean.
Right.
And typically you would see trash along the ground
You
here.
can still see like I think there's still people come here and like, you know, they do meet up and all that. Oh yeah, there's another one that I will show you like when we turn left there. Yeah, it's an interesting place. When was the last time you were here?
I'm telling you, probably about 50, 60 years ago. But I think a lot of it hasn't. I look at the buildings and the architecture. I don't think they've done anything new
No,
here.
it's still old buildings, right?
Right.
A lot of it. You see that 24?
Yeah.
24 Kaikan is known for like a sauna, where all like it's for gay people that would go there and they go to sauna, and that's kind of like they also meet up and hook up.
Oh, the 24 Kaikan. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it there. It's right in the center of your screen
Yes.
above the
Yeah.
vending machines there.
Uh-huh.
What is the history of here? Why did Nichome or this section of Shinjuku become, I guess, TripAdvisor calls this gay town.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and this is right next to like all the hotels that everybody is staying here.
Uh-huh.
I was just curious, how did this area become famous for that, for becoming gay town?
Right. I think also because of a lot of foreigners starting to realize like there's an area for the LGBT community where they can hang out, and now a lot of people, based from I don't hang out here anymore during the night, but based from my friends who's part of the community that they still go out to Nichome, a lot of straight people would come here and just want to party and meet people. So it's becoming not just for the LGBT. And the LGBT were saying is not like a safe space for us anymore, because there's so many like not even part of the community and they're all here. I think because they don't have the understanding of how like the respect or the boundary between like what you said about earlier, like you cannot just go to a random bar here unless they know you, right?
Right.
So that's also part of it.
But since tourism, Japan's population is decreasing, tourism is now going down. Tourism is now on the rise. So the tourists that are coming here are changing this area too. I guess there are some places that are exclusive, but there are more places. Like we just saw a sign that said foreign languages are okay,
yeah.
right? Foreigners
Yeah.
are okay.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing with the Golden Guy, where it became so popular with tourists, in the tourism. So now I think because it's also not far from, and you know how tiny that area is, Shinjuku Golden Guy, right?
Right.
So if that gets crowded, they can all come here, which is like a walkable area too from Golden Guy.
Five-toed sloth bear is in the house and says, as a bi guy who wants to come to Japan, this is interesting to hear. I think, like the thing is, most people that are like LGBT, we talk about this and it's become such a hot issue with the presidential election that has just passed in the US, but they're just travelers, right? People who come here, you don't think about that so much. And if you are under the age of 30 and you're going out drinking and stuff, then there are special places to come. There are neighborhoods like this where you can come do this. But this is a lot more important, and I think the documentary talks about this a little bit, where the people in Japan, and this is where the difference is with the Western societies and with the Japanese societies, they don't have the same kind of rights.
Yeah.
Which is just basic stuff like getting married, the stuff that maybe already exists in the West, that doesn't exist here in Japan. So it's much tougher.
It is tougher, yeah. That's why we made this. Want to talk about it, Felicity, about the documentary?
Yeah, we talk about that as well, Felicity, as we walk through Shinjuku Nichome.
Yeah, so Japan is the only G7 country where same-sex marriage is not available. There is something here called the partnership system, but even then that's not available everywhere in Japan. That's only 75% of Japan has the partnership program. So there's no equality for people to have any legal rights at all. Even the partnership program, it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't have a lot of strength to it. So if your partner dies and you're contesting a will, for example, that may not give you any standing in court. So it's very important for Japan to start thinking about the LGBT and their rights, so that people can have that safety, have that stability, have families.
We're talking about rights. We're talking about like just basic stuff, right?
It is the basic stuff, yeah.
Being able to be part of the health, pension system and healthcare system. Everybody here pays tax, but the LGBT don't get access to the same rights and health.
Not also healthcare as
You
well.
wanna talk
Same
about
thing.
your
Yeah.
story?
So my story of that is like I realized it even more when I did the mammogram. For example, like they can provide that here for free, like a yearly checkup. But because my gender mark on my card is still male, they don't allow me to take.
Oh wow,
Which is I pay for my healthcare. Why I can't have that?
that doesn't
You
make a
know,
lot of sense.
Exactly. So, and I think because they're not like, they don't have that 교육 education about like LGBT, how to take care of them. So there's a lot to talk about. That we just, like what you said, we just want the basic needs. We don't want special treatments.
I think when it becomes like a political hot issue, a lot of things get bent out of the main goal of it, the main purpose of what everybody was. I hate to say the word fight, but the discussion of what should happen.
You can show that. There's like, I think this is like drag performers here.
Oh wow. Kingdom.
Yeah, I've never been here, but it seems like there's a lot of drag performers here.
Is there one called Queendom?
Yeah, this Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
So Kingdom would be guys.
And I think there's like, yeah, mixture
Oh,
of
you
like.
can drink for 1,500 yen. That's really cheap. Looking at the prices here now. Yeah, it's just this is a tough issue for me to cover because I don't want to get into the politics of it in the United States. It is
Right.
after the last Hotel Queen. Okay, now we've got the Queen and the King. Next we need the Duke and the Earl. But after the U.S. election, but it's not like that here, is it? It's very different.
Yeah.
It's where talking about this kind of stuff has become so toxic in the West. This is different in Japan. I guess Felicity, and keeping in mind that Tiffany has has the microphone,
Your
right?
chest.
I was like, yeah.
Like, how is it comparatively in the West to here
That's a
after
really
making the documentary?
That's a really good question. I think that, as you said, it isn't a triggering issue here. We can talk to people on the street, and people are generally very open. They're generally very positive. Even if they don't know very much, they're very, very positive. Whereas I think even in Australia, where I'm from, you might still get some people who would say something a little bit aggressive if they weren't positive towards the community. But in Japan, people tend to be very calm about on the face of it.
Well, non-confrontational, which
No,
is
yeah.
They don't want confrontation
No.
here.
So it's building that understanding and bouncing off what you were saying with education. There is more of a push recently to have openly LGBT people come into schools and talk and build that education. I was at a Pride thing recently in Kyoto where some high schoolers were talking about LGBT community. So I think it's building, it's just so slow.
everything in Japan. That's what I think probably would
Yeah.
shock people watching this. Japan, I know, is such a modern country.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks of it like that, but
Yeah.
people still read newspapers. Fax machines are still
Exactly.
a thing
Yeah.
here, right? Somebody asked me to do a
They
fax
watch
a few months
TV. They
ago.
watch TV.
Yes.
Right, they watch TV, So things change really slow, which sometimes is a good thing because people can catch up to all of these changes. Sometimes change happens too fast for humans
Yeah.
to take in, but in Japan, it's a lot slower than you think. Not everything runs at the same speed as the Shinkansen here, right?
Absolutely,
Exactly, yeah.
Wow, so this is still Nichome here until we get to Sanchome. So I want to talk a little bit about the neighborhood here. So Shinjuku Nichome is sort of like, I don't know, how would you, is it like the center of the LGBT community? Or I never see it as a community because I just judge people based on each individual person. There's people that are toxic people and people that are, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you talk about a community, it's nice to have that because then as a group you can
Be safe.
address, right, you feel safe, but you can
Yeah.
also address certain issues too. So would this be the center of
I
such
think
community?
so because a lot of the bar owners and people that hang out here are part of the community. They're part of the community, and you will rarely find bars that is not if they're not LGBT.
Yeah.
So basically, most of the owners and most of the people that works and also
Oh,
come
roast chicken
here.
leg. Hold on a second. Wow, look at that. That's a really odd thing at 7-Eleven. Roast chicken leg. Just
For
kinda-
Christmas.
Yeah, the Christmas chicken is. It's funny they put it in the window. Sorry about that. I'm
No.
a very short attention span.
Yeah, but it's so close. Look, it's like this Shanchom is right in the corner.
Right.
And then Isetan is right there.
Yeah, the
right?
Isetan, the mega department store with all that luxury stuff inside.
Yeah.
It's right over there. And Shinjuku Gyoen is right
Gyoen
over
is
there.
right there, yeah.
You can see the park
Did you
on
see
the
that
left
change
side.
too? Like they built that like to cross on the other side. They didn't
Oh,
have that
I haven't
before,
noticed
right?
that. Yeah. That's relatively new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very new.
You could walk across there. It was a real pain in the neck to get through that intersection for the longest time. It's fascinating. Yeah, the chicken leg. You don't need to go to KFC to get your Christmas chicken.
You can have it
You can just get it at 7-Eleven nowadays. It's not really a thing. The roast chicken stuff's sort of a thing, but
So if you go a little bit further there, then the Golden Guy will be like right up on that street, right?
yeah. So Shinjuku is quite famous. It's not just because of the LGBT community, but also because, and the bars here, but it's also because it's just a drinking town.
It is, yeah.
Let's just put it to general. So, you don't have to be gay to go to these bars, right?
Exactly. No, you don't have to.
You could go with a bunch of friends that are in, you know, because I
Yeah.
grew up in the 80s, we had different ideas, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a Richard Pryor movie where everyone's dressed up like YMCA. That's something else. That's the old school.
I think you have to know people though. Like for example, if you have to know them to be able for you to be accepted in their bars.
Yeah.
To be introduced. I think that's Japanese thing, right?
Right.
You have to be introduced to someone before they feel comfortable having you and welcoming you.
So that might be the toughest thing for those that are LGBT coming to Japan as a tourist. If they, you know, everyone's going to do the same thing as tourists. Everyone's just going to go up to the Sky Tree and just do all the same stuff.
Right.
But if you wanted to go out for nightlife and see that in particular, it might not be the easiest thing. Unless
Exactly.
you're introduced into it. And that's what tourism is making, kind of changing this neighborhood. Whereas if you have somebody who is your guide, they could take you in with
Yes.
that introduction to places like this.
And that's what I do.
And that's what you do.
Part of what I do, I because I have connections and I still have connections with people. I built that relationship for 28 years, right? I've been living here for that long. To be able to have that access, I think, like I respect them. I know how to have that relationship that I can support them in a way that I just don't bring someone like, randomly. Of course, the people that I will bring them, I'll let them know like, this is what you have to do. This is how we go to these bars. The same thing when I do whenever I have guests for Golden Guy, because
Right.
I have places that I can go there, but I always tell them like, just be respectful.
I think this goes with, on this channel, I've been telling you a lot of stuff. Japan is a risk-averse country. They don't think of the reward as much as they probably think about the risk. They focus more, how do we reduce the risk of stuff? And the invitation or being introduced in a certain place, it does make it pretty exclusive. So especially when you do go in there, but also it's about trying to avoid confrontations and
Exactly.
avoiding trouble. And yeah, it's not the way we would do things in the United States, but we look at the reward. We're going to get more money if we have everybody coming in here. They see the risk, where everybody could come in here, there's going to be more problems, which probably would end up hurting the reward in the end. That's just the way Japan is, and that's the we know because we've been here for so long.
Exactly, yeah. And not many people know that, right?
Right. That's right.
And I think that there are more options these days for the LGBT because, 15 years ago, the only place you could go was Nichome.
Yeah.
Right.
But now there's more safe spaces, there's more cafes, and I'd love to give a shout out to Waifu. So
Yes.
Waifu is this amazing organization that has mixed events, so anybody can come to them, but it's really for the queer community, so a lot of queer people. And travelers come to the Waifu parties. There's usually a bit of a screening, like some kind of film, and then DJs.
Yes.
So yeah, check out Waifu.
Yeah, it's a fun event that they organize once a month.
I think you're from the Philippines.
Yes, I'm from the Philippines.
Right. So as a foreigner myself, and I've experienced a lot of, I don't know, just not being Japanese kind of situations that you might say as racism and all this other stuff. But when you talk about safe spaces, what does that actually mean? Because I'm sure a lot of people that are watching don't quite understand it. So a safe space for me would be like Hard Rock Cafe or McDonald's back in the day. I'm not being facetious.
So when you say safe spaces, because I think LGBTQ people are some people are. I'm not that sensitive as much as other. Some people are very sensitive. You know, when you, for example, like the pronouns, right? When you talk about pronouns, if you don't give them the right pronouns, they feel like you disrespected them.
There are people out there like
Exactly.
that, right? Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I'm okay. As long as I know that if it's not like meant to be, like they're not meant. Do you want to go to the Golden Guy?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we can cross here.
I don't even know what the pronoun stuff is. I've been here for the last 28 years, so don't ask me. So if you tell me what your pronouns are, I'm gonna like. So
I think
that's a Western thing, but in Japan we don't have that.
No,
culture,
we don't.
Right?
Yeah, because we use san, right? San or
Yeah.
chan.
That's why it's a little bit odd to me. So when I go back home, I'm gonna get in big trouble, which is probably maybe not the case. I don't know what's happening these days, but
Right, but yeah, like again, these are things can probably some people can be very sensitive about.
Yeah.
So if you're in that community, that one of the bars there, and you said something they're not comfortable, then they don't feel safe anymore.
okay. So when people get triggered,
Exactly, yeah.
right? It's because of more of their feeling of safe. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think of it like that. And I think a lot of it just has to do with, let's be honest, I don't have a lot of in Japan because people don't come out
Yes.
that
yeah.
much in Japan, right?
Yeah, they don't.
A lot of people are hiding in the shadows, so to speak, compared to in the West, where it's much more acceptable. And one of the things you touch about in the documentary is that people in the West have those figures, those personalities and profiles, high figure people that talk about this kind of stuff, but we don't in Japan.
No, yeah.
And the one person that we do have here, I'm going to show you. There's a Wikipedia. I'm a fan of Matsuko Deluxe on TV all the time, but she's not somebody who's so active in the community, right? Matsuko Deluxe is a TV personality who, I don't even, transgender?
She's a comedian.
Comedian.
I don't know if she considers herself a trans.
Right, that's the issue, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what.
But in Japanese for Japanese people, they know her as Okama.
Right.
That Okama is like English or what? Gay. What is it in English?
Maybe somebody who like dresses up as the other gender.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So, she never talks about like the community. She's just doing her work as a comedian. So.
She's the first person that Japanese will meet because she's on TV so much that is unique. That is in,
Yeah.
But we're not quite sure what she is. I feel like it's unusual to say that because she doesn't talk about it so much. And it doesn't even play into it because she's just really good at what she does.
Yeah. What I've learned from like knowing people from the entertainment industry in Japan, once you get your foot in we can cross here. Once you get your foot into the industry, there's still like a hush hush. You don't ask, you don't tell.
Yeah. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't talk about it. No confrontation.
Exactly.
Risk reward.
But
all
they
of this
show,
stuff.
even though they show that they're part of the community, they're
Smells
different.
so good.
I know.
Like,
Taiyaki so much.
I know. We're talking about this stuff, but I'm gonna have to change the title of this episode too because I don't know how we're gonna be how the discussion is turning as we explore this area
But
of
that's
Shinjuku.
like the Shinjuku, right? Main.
Oh yeah, this is more. We're heading towards the Golden Guy and Kabukicho.
This is new for me too. I haven't been to Golden Guy before.
Okay. It's kind of like in Kyoto, the small tiny little bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call that area again in Kyoto?
Kawaramachi, Gion, Pontocho.
Pontocho. Yeah.
Pontocho.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind
it's
of
like
like Pontocho.
Pontocho.
Yeah, and you'll see these public service signs as well. Another reason why
Oh, I've never
Japanese
seen-
keep it so
I've never
clean.
seen that before.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Yeah.
I love the effort and how nice the signs are, right? No littering, no
There's like
smoking.
a cigarette butt right next to it.
And that's true. Like somebody really didn't care
Somebody's
right
like,
there.
"No smoking."
no smoking.
No smoking. Yeah, the first time I saw Matsuko Deluxe was a Mr. Donuts commercial where she exclaimed, "Oishiso" in a deep voice. I know, it was Mr. Donuts' commercials. I remember them very well.
Let's go to the shrine. Pass by
We
the shrine.
can. I don't know how the signal is, but again, not that far away. This is not Nichome anymore. This is
It's right there, the Golden Guy.
okay. We can give it a try. Let's see if the signal's okay in between
Okay.
here. So we might lose out a little bit, but we'll keep on talking. You
Yeah.
can still hear us here.
So, do you know this you know this shrine is known for? They're known for like all the entertainment entertainment industry. They would come here, they would pray that they would break. For example, if they have if they want to start a career as an actor, if they want to start a career as a singer, I don't know, like or a movie, they would come here and they would pay respect because they believe that this shrine is for entertainment. That they're gonna be like famous or their wish to be known as this shrine.
So that's why my friend Peter comes here so often.
Okay.
Peter. Well, he's actually quite famous in his world. So.
Okay.
I think he just comes here. A little bit more fame would be pretty good. He's a very talented voice artist. In fact, if you took
Peter, what is his last name?
Peter Von Gogh.
Yes, I
you know him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He was the voice of the ANA kabuki safety video. If you ever rode ANA,
but he does a lot of voice acting.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Tokyo Tower.
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
maybe even Disney. A lot of TV commercials, video games. Yeah, dude's everywhere. And he's nowhere and everywhere, just voices. Beautiful. You know, you don't expect this in the night in a place famous for nightlife. Something
right.
So, well, religious and clean, and I guess it's got that Shuido orange color. So going back maybe to the Heian period or something like that. I'm trying to think of the Japanese Heian shrine in Kyoto. Again, very famous for being this color here.
Once we come there, like the Golden Guy is right there. We just go down. You still see like the color of autumn, which is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. This is the end of autumn right now. Winter's starting to come in, but it is warm today. It's pretty warm today.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the signal is okay. So
that's Golden Guy. Golden Guy right there.
Yeah, there's Golden Guy right here. Last time I was here was with Tokyo Sam, who might be watching. I'm not sure. Sam, if he's in the house. He knows a lot of the business owners in Golden Guy. It's interesting though. Right next to Golden Guy is this shrine. But Golden Guy is quite interesting because I think it almost burned down a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. They want to destroy the place, but all the people who owns the bars here, they didn't want it to leave.
So I know that Nichome is the LGBT, like, I guess it would be like the center right there, but I mean, there's no issue with people that are gay going to Golden Guy, is there? I don't think there's any.
There are actually some owners here too that is part of the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just confined to Nichome.
No, yeah.
It's all over the country.
Exactly, yeah.
Nichome is quite famous for it, and here's Golden Guy here. Again, after I got married and Leo, I do not go out drinking, bitch. And in fact, I think it's been about 20 years since I probably have been completely plowed, but to Tokyo Sam's.
But you know that Golden Guy used to be the red light district, right? Back in the day.
I don't know. I guess they're going to keep it around. I know these buildings are not really safe in case of a big earthquake, but
right.
They can't take it away either because it's got
the Golden Guy.
Yeah, Golden Guy. It was Anthony Bourdain who really.
Yes. I know one of the bars he likes when he went here.
Who came in here and showed these small, really cozy bars where you can get shoulder to shoulder with locals that were really friendly, right?
Yes.
That's what Golden Guy's really famous for. There is a friendliness to it, and there are some places that are invitation only, right? You have to know somebody, but there are many places that are open. There's almost always a seating charge these days, like 1,000 yen or something. Used to be a lot less than that, but I guess with more people, tourists coming here that want to...
See, like they still put like the member only.
Yeah, so they make it quite clear so you don't have to, go inside and then be shocked. Wait, there's a 2,000 yen entry fee? No. It's,
right, they don't want that trouble.
Yeah, you know what it is before you go in there. And there's a map here that shows you all of the places. Some of them are in English. Actually, a growing number of them have Romaji. Used to be all katakana. But
right, yeah, it changed.
It is
because they wanted to promote it with the foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden Guy, G-A-I. And guy does not mean man, okay?
Yeah.
Guy is like like alley.
Alley,
right?
yeah, alley, yeah.
Yeah. Very scenic. I love that old Showa feel to it with the telephone and electrical wires up above and the old shacks and nothing is symmetrical.
A random shirt.
A random t-shirt. Right. The air conditioners outside. It's the facade that you could take a picture of this and you could make a postcard out of it for sure. But a lot of the people are very clear with the service charge, and usually you'll get a little snack or something.
I always like to pass by like this area, like this tiny area, like look like the back, sections of like those bars as well.
Yeah. And in a place like New York or even Manila or someplace like that, this would be dangerous, I think.
Oh yeah, you
Right?
will not go to those places.
No. Like I think I don't know everything in English. We cannot accept credit cards. Please pay by cash in English. That's pretty members only. So it's very clear what they want, and the reason for that is they've got a lot of customers, regulars, and they want to keep it like that.
Yes, exactly.
Snack bars are sort of the same thing. I go to Shimbashi sometimes and go to the snacker there, where the mama-san is serving. Snacks and drinks to what is like a family, right?
Yes, it is. It's like a bar that where you can go like around the area, right? Like when you just feel like having a drink or before you go to bed. That's what they used to do. I think Japanese people,
Right.
Japanese men,
Yeah, before that was the entertainment actually. Back in the 50s and the 60s, you didn't really have a lot of stuff on the TV post World War II. Where would you go? Yeah, you maybe lived in a small house. You wanted to get out. You go there and you get a meal and a life advice from a mama-san.
Life advice.
Yeah, heck yeah. I've had a lot of mama-sans before I got married try to hook me up. Do you know this girl? Some of them actually have become match-up places where that's how they stay in business, because Japan's having a problem with the birth rate and and people getting married in general.
Yeah.
Instead of
True.
an app, you would go to the snack or some of these bars. You can meet people.
But I'm surprised there are bars that still open this hour now.
Right. Hey, it's 5 p.m. somewhere.
Or they've been drinking the whole night and
Or they've been all night. This has just come full circle now. Yeah. They're about to open up soon. It's very interesting. And I think we have as well. So just to get back at,
you know how like the stairs when you go up, it's so steep, and
that's another thing. We see a lot of businesses on the ground floor, but there's actually other bars upstairs, and those are the ones that sometimes have more regular customers just because they're sort of unknown, right? You have to really make an effort to find out and go up the stairs. You have to be quite brave as well. But inside you'll find these really cozy bars that are fun to do. To come full circle, because we got to end the stream, but in general, I think for those that are in the LGBT community and coming here to Tokyo, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that you really, as a tourist, you really need to consider. I think mostly, in particular with the documentary, which I think you should watch. It's called We Exist, and I learned a lot of it. I live here for over 25 years, 26 years, and 27. Holy crap, 27 years coming this 2025. And there's a lot of stuff that I really need to know about my own community. And in Japan, we don't talk about this stuff. It kind of goes underneath the radar, and unless you talk about it and bring it forward, just everyday conversations, this isn't something that comes up. So to learn about Nichome, to learn about this neighborhood, to learn about your Tiffany's story, and you're so brave and so good at this, because in the documentary you talk very openly, in particular to other people that probably don't talk about their story either. You get a really authentic look at, I guess, how the LGBT community here in Japan is perceived, not just by Japanese, but now by international tourists that are coming here. So that's fascinating.
Thank you so much for saying that. And I really think that how important it is to share those stories, because like what you said, there's not many representation. No one knows like how we go through. I think it's important to share our stories, because people will not know what we go through. So the more we share the stories, the more people probably have that hoping to understand like what we go through, and then hopefully, like they could accept us for who we are.
So what do you want people to take away from the documentary when they watch it?
I think. What do
Yeah,
you
we want people, as Tiffany was saying, to have empathy, to build awareness, and then through the sharing of stories, just understand that we're all human beings,
Yeah.
and we all deserve respect. And I think the biggest goal is for the laws to change. And whether or not our documentary can have that kind of impact, I don't know. But just for people to understand a little bit more, that's our big goal.
Well, yeah, nothing's going to change if people don't talk about it. So
Yes.
all this does is, I think it just gets people to talk about it. So you've already achieved, I think, your goal in that respect. You know,
Yeah.
people are going to talk about it, and I hope there's a big turnout for the movie. How can people watch it? Well, I'll put a link in the description to the trailer.
Thank you. So at the moment, we're doing lots of screenings, and if you follow our We Exist Instagram account, you can find out where we're doing screenings. Reach out to us if you would like to host a screening in your country or your school. We're really open to that. And at the moment, film festivals, and in the future, we'll say where it's going to be uploaded.
We hope to have it on Netflix.
Yeah,
If someone's
that would be cool.
if someone's watching on Netflix, reach out to us.
Yes, or really any streamer, but
Yeah.
Well, that'd be pretty cool. I know you get pretty good reach here on YouTube as well, because this is where everyone, actually most people watching YouTube.
that's true.
Most people watching
It's the
YouTube.
biggest, yeah.
And then I guess to wrap this all up here, like in the future, it's changed so much. Everything has since 1998 when I came here in Japan
Oh,
in
the same. We came up at the same time.
yeah, around the same time, right? It's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
But like if we compare it from back then and today, I guess you wouldn't be as open or feel as comfortable.
No.
Right.
I never talk about myself. I thought like I have to always just, shut my mouth and not say anything. And that's what it changed my mind. I thought how important it is to share our stories and our experiences, because a lot of Japanese people still, like even now, like they don't talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be shamed. No one don't want to be shamed, right? So, and I also feel that before, like I don't want to be shamed. That's why I didn't want to speak about it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest difference between maybe the West and in Japan. It's not like the conversation becomes just way too toxic and way too like activist. We're here in Japan, it's just a conversation, and I think that's really important to in Japan to do something like. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you
the
so
walk
much
around
for sharing,
Nichome.
Tony.
I appreciate it, and there's a lot of viewers here. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Nichome and the documentary and Tiffany's story, and any comments that you might have. You guys can check out the channel later and answer some
Will
of the
do.
questions
Yeah.
about it. But if
Any
you are-
questions? Yeah, feel free to ask us.
yeah, go ahead. Actually, I had a lot of questions before we started the live stream, and I learned quite a bit from it. But this area of Shinjuku, definitely, this is where a lot of tourists are. And if you are LGBT or not, and you're just curious about it, walking around, and that's the great thing about Japan. Everywhere is really safe.
Yes.
Going and checking
No, yeah.
out.
Even at
checking out-
night, even at late night when you
Yeah,
walk.
you can see some pretty interesting vibe that's quite different than the rest of Japan. Well, thanks everybody for watching on this tour, and we'll see you in another video real
Thank
soon.
you so much.
Bye guys.
Matane.
Thank you.